Hey, I'm Isaac. I served in the Taiwan-Taipei mission, and today I want to talk about following the Spirit. I think if anyone were to ask me what I learned the most about on my mission, it's following the Spirit and learning how the Spirit speaks to me. And I just want to share 3 stories about following the Spirit. And what I would suggest is whenever you get into companionship, you say, hey, let us set this expectation, and that is that whenever either of us get a prompting to do something, the other will just accept it and go with it. And that's kind of like the first barrier to get over. Because sometimes the Spirit will ask you to do some crazy things. And if you're worried about what your companion will think, I think that's a hindrance that doesn't necessarily have to be there. So if you were to set an expectation, I think you would set that one. And that's that whatever prompting that you get, your companion will be okay with it, and then vice versa. There was one time when I was knocking doors with my companion, and we had just rung the doorbell, and I had a feeling to turn around and talk to the person that was walking on the street behind us and just leave the doorbell, just ditch the doorbell. It ended up being that no one was at that door, and that person behind us became a really solid investigator. Another time we were knocking, and I had a feeling we had to go somewhere, and so we could only knock one more door, and we were just knocking down the road, and I had a feeling to skip one house. And so we skipped one house, and we ended up finding someone that we baptized. And then in the third instance, same thing, we were knocking, and we only had one more house to go, and I had a feeling to skip to the way end of the street and knock that one, and that person was also baptized a few years later after I'd gotten home. The Spirit will tell you to do these kind of weird, crazy things sometimes, but as long as you set that expectation with your companion that you're going to follow the Spirit, however crazy it may seem or sound, you'll see miracles on your mission. And again, to me, the message came with split-second thought to do something, and the Spirit could speak to you in another way. Again, with teaching, a lot of times, especially if you're speaking another language, it's easy to fall in the same patterns of teaching and saying the same phrases over and over again, especially because, when you learn a new language, you tend to use the same phrases that you learned them in, but as long as you're open to following the Spirit, you will be able to teach them according to their needs. Everyone deserves a unique message to them. Obviously the content's the same, but the delivery and what you relate it to should be different. So what's the requirement to having the Spirit? It's obedience. I did not do obedience the way I should have. And instead of explaining to you what kind of missionary I was, I will tell you a story. I was with a companion who I noticed was wearing colorful patterned socks. And I remember in the handbook it said that you can only wear like solid colored socks. And I think that morning I felt some enmity towards him for something that he had said or done. And maybe it was because of the socks he was wearing. I don't know. It was a very small insignificant thing, but I remember telling him, hey, Elder so-and-so, could you please change your socks? And then he looked at me, paused a little bit, and he said, Elder Wu, your attitude is going to hinder the work more than my socks. And it really, really hit me hard because he was right. I think when you're following the handbook, there's this river, and on one bank is rigidity, where you're following the handbook no matter what, no matter how that manifests itself in your relationship with your companion or whatever, and then there's chaos where you're not following anything. And I think the way to go is just to be in the middle, which is an area called integration, where you see the situation, you think, okay, what is going to give us the Spirit more? Most of the time it will be following the handbook, but also doing it in a way that will bring the Spirit to your companionship. There's no point in leaving right on time out the door if you and your companion have tension, because you're not going to be able to teach. And so you look at every situation, you think, okay, how am I going to bring the Spirit into this companionship so we can teach and find and bring others to Christ? Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please, as always, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Thank you.